Greetings and welcome to Infodome. There's no end to facts and interesting trivia surrounding the Bond franchise. This is especially so for Daniel Craig's first Bond film, Casino Royale. Whether you're just a casual fan or a Bond fanatic, we have compiled some facts and trivia you really should know. Number 1. Bond orders the drink later to be known as the Vesper, almost verbatim from Ian Fleming's original novel. He says, 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quinoa lillet, shake it very well until ice cold, then add a large thin slice of lemon peel. Number 2. This is the first James Bond movie to be based on a full-length Fleming novel since Moonraker in 1979. Until 2019, it remains as the last Bond film based directly from an Ian Fleming novel. Number 3. The location used in the Bahamas as the Madagascar construction site was an abandoned hotel site at Coral Harbour that was under construction 30 years ago. It was also used to film hotel rooms for the Bond movie Thunderball, and it was used for The Spy Who Loved Me as a camera platform with models and workshops. It is now part of a military base. Number 4. Fleming celebrated the completion of the Casino Royale novel's first draft by purchasing a gold-plated typewriter. Former James Bond actor Pierce Brosnan reportedly bought the typewriter a few years ago for $52,000. Number 5. Fleming once said on writing the novel, "Writing about 2,000 words in 3 hours every morning, Casino Royale dutifully produced itself. I made no corrections until the book was finished. If I had looked back at what I'd written the day before, I might have despaired." Number 6. The camp in Uganda where we first meet Mr. White and Le Chiffre was actually filmed just outside of London. Number 7. When M talks to Bond about the financial loss Le Chiffre has taken as a result of his plot in Miami being foiled, she mentions how the CIA discovered he short-sold large quantities of airline stocks after 9/11, and when the stocks plummeted in the wake of the attacks, someone made a fortune. This really was alleged to have happened in real life, as people noted seemingly suspicious stock trading the day before 9/11, but a thorough investigation by the FBI, amongst others, concluded there was no Al-Qaeda connection. Number 8. Richard Branson's cameo in the film is cut out of the in-flight version shown in all leading airlines, apart from Virgin Atlantic, which he owns, as there was a shot of the Virgin Atlantic aircraft that Branson supplied. However, you still can see Branson in the film. He is in the Miami airport on the right-hand side of the X-ray screening when Bond is chasing Eclipse. Number 9. Craig lost his 2 front teeth while filming a fight scene in Prague, which was the first action scene to be shot, and his dentist had to fly from London to replace them. Number 10. For the scene involving Bond following Vesper into the house undergoing renovation supported by inflatable balloons, a tank was constructed at the 007 stage in Pinewood, consisting of the Venetian Plaza and the interior of the 3-storey dilapidated house. Number 11. The rig weighed 90 tons, incorporated electronics with hydraulic valves, which were closely controlled by computer because of the dynamic movement within the system on its 2 axes. The same computer system also controlled the exterior model, which the effects team built to 1/3 scale to film the building eventually collapsing into the Venetian Canal. The model elevator within the rig could be immersed in 19 feet or just under 6 meters of water, and use banks of compressors to strictly regulate movement. Number 12. The interior of the sinking house was based on the interior of the Hotel Denali in Venice, Italy, which appeared in Moonraker. Number 13. James Ferguson, a physician in Aberdeen, Scotland, came up with the idea for the scene in which Bond is poisoned and is remotely diagnosed by MI6 experts. He is a Bond fan and has been retained as a medical advisor on all future Bond films. Number 14. During the final hand of poker with Le Chiffre, Bond appears to hesitate before going all in. This is only for dramatic effect. With the dealing of the 4 of spades as the 4th community card, which is also known as the turn or 4th street, Bond would have known he could not lose the game, regardless of the hands being dealt by the other players. Under the dynamics of Texas Hold'em, no other player could then complete a straight flush, which is the highest hand in straight poker. Even if Le Chiffre had 4 aces, he still would have lost to Bond's straight flush. Now, we can't bring you facts without looking into a fan favourite category: the cars. Number 15. The 2007 Ford Mondeo Sport model used in the beginning of the film is a special one-off hand-built prototype vehicle. It was constructed at Ford of Europe's design studio in Cologne, Germany in January 2006 and shipped to the Bahamas in secrecy for shooting. Number 16. The license plate number of Bond's silver birch 1964 Aston Martin DB5 is 56526, the same as the car in Goldfinger and Thunderball, although in these films the steering wheel is on the right and in this movie it is on the left. Number 17. The car barrel roll stunt by the Aston Martin DBS broke the world record for the most barrel rolls assisted by a cannon. Originally, the racing specifications of the DBS meant that a standard ramp would not be sufficient to get the car to roll, so the special effects team were called in to install an air-powered cannon behind the driver's seat. This allowed the car to complete 7 full rolls. The stunt was officially entered into the Guinness Book of World Records on November 5, 2006. In one afternoon shooting, 3 Aston Martin DBS cars, valued at $300,000 each, were destroyed for the car roll sequence. Number 18. As the DBS was still in its final design stage, therefore no working car was ready for use, filmmakers had to rely on test prototypes of the DB9 that were dressed up to look like the DBS. Number 19. The Skyfleet S570 aircraft was an ex-British Airways 747-200B, which had its engines removed and was modified for its appearance in the film. The modified aircraft had the outboard engines replaced by external fuel tanks, while the inboard engines were replaced by a mock-up pair of engines on each inboard pylon. The cockpit profile was altered to make the 747 look like a prototype of an advanced airliner. Number 20. In filming the scene in which the engine thrusts the moving aircraft blows the police car high into the air, second unit directors Ian Lowe, Terry Madden and Alex Witt used a crane with a strong lead cable attached to the rear bumper of the vehicle to move it up and backwards at the moment of full extension away from the plane. In the 2004 season of Mythbusters, the team proved a myth about a taxi being flipped over by a 747. The most obvious difference was the plane in Mythbusters was stationary on a runway, whereas the plane in this film was still airborne, so technically that police car could have been whisked up into the air. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to be notified about all future videos. Until next time.